I'm inspired. Ay. I'm inspired.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today, for this vlog, man, I wanna explore this idea of toxic masculinity. I've been seeing a lot of posts, a lot of TV shows, a lot of things on this subject popping up, and so I took that as a sign from the universe to talk about it a little bit and meditate on it and explore it. And I think I can offer some ideas around it that can maybe hopefully heal some of that perspective, because you know, to me, that doesn't, I don't sit right with that idea of there being a toxic masculinity, right? That's, to me, that sounds like it's a label that we're attaching to masculinity that's imbalanced. Masculinity that's imbalanced is not toxic. It's just imbalanced. And there's understanding and healing and compassion that needs to take place, rather than like, man, that right there is toxic. Let's go ahead and put that person in this category, this pile of poison. We're gonna label that person as poison and toxic, and you know, they're wrong for being that way. And I don't think that's productive for society. I don't think that's what we want to do with people. We want there to be balance. We want there to be more men out there that are balanced in their masculinity, that have a healthy masculine energy to them. And so I want to share a perspective about what that looks like, right? And also just to inspire some people maybe to have some compassion for people who are, for men that are toxic, right, in their masculinity. A lot of us didn't grow up with fathers. You know, I was blessed. I was very fortunate. I grew up with my dad. I lost my mom early, but you know, I grew up with a very, very good dad, and you know, and he did a great job raising me. But a lot of young men didn't grow up with that, right? They didn't grow up with that, and so there's a lot of guys out there who never had that reference point. Human beings were monkey see, monkey do creatures. So without a reference point, without an example, without someone's lead to follow, especially being in those young days, you know, as a young boy, yeah, you can learn a lot from your mom. And a lot of the single moms did a great job raising their boys. But at the end of the day, an example is needed. You know, someone that looks like me, someone that has the same parts as me, someone that, you know, when they get older, their voice is going to drop and get deep, right? Like we need those examples as young men. And without that, now we have a lot of young men walking around in the streets, in the world, trying to fit into an idea of masculinity rather than seeing the energy of what healthy masculinity looks like and embodying that energy that they saw. Now they're trying to fit into a concept. And so with that being said, if I have no idea what it means to be a man, but I see it on TV, I see it in movies, I see The Rock playing this macho man in the Fast and Furious, well, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, that's what a man does. And I don't feel that way, but I'm going to try. I'm going to put on this persona so I can fit in to this idea of, apparently this is what society wants. This is what society says a man is. We have all these TV shows and all these commercials saying, you know, eat a baconator, eat a bacon, man eat bacon burgers and stuff like that, you know, and you know, men eat steaks and all these stereotypes about what it means to be a man. And for a young boy who has no idea what's true or not, we take that shit seriously. And so there's all these guys that grow up with this, you know, like this false example of what it means to be a man. And so I think it's a little off of us to label that as toxic, when what needs to happen is there need to be understanding and compassion. Healing needs to take place. Role models, leaders need to step up and show off their balanced, healthy, masculine energy to the world so that young boys can mimic that and be guided by that. So, you know, what does it mean to be a man? I'm gonna give my own perspective because, like I said, I think I had a really great father who, like I said, my mom passed away early. So my dad, he had to step into the mothering role as well. And so, I mean, while he was a man and very, grounded, deep voice, like secure in himself and brought off and had a great energy about him, he also had to step into this role of mother and still provide to me somewhat of a softer, yielding, loving, nurturing, motherly energy. And I think every balanced, healthy man has that ability, has that in them. If you look at the yin and the yang symbol, there's this black side and this white side, right? And on the black side, there's a dot that has a little bit of the white, right? There's the dark side and the light side, right? And the dark side has a little bit of the light, and the light side has a little bit of the dark. But this goes for this universe, right? This universe, this place that we live in, it's dualistic. There's always like hot, cold, like there's this dualistic thing going on. So there's male, female, there's polar opposites, love, fear. And so with every male, there should be a dot of feminine. For every woman, there should be a dot of masculine. For every feminine energy, for all females, there's a touch of the masculine. And so what we call toxic is a young man pushing down that feminine energy, because a lot of women especially notice this toxic nature, right? It's because they're like, hold on, that guy's too hard. That guy's this is imbalanced masculinity. He's pushing down the female because he doesn't recognize, because there's no example that that's a necessary component of what it means to be a balanced man. And so what that looks like to me is a man who's solid, grounded, who can assert himself, who has some toughness to him. He has some resilience to him. We're tough. We're muscular. We're strong. That's just our build. That's just our nature. We have that capability. Not all of us are like walking around like that, but there's testosterone there, so it makes us a little more, right? But there also should be a touch of the opposite, a touch of tenderness, a touch of patience, softness, vulnerableness that a lot of us have not seen in other men because of the exaggerated shit that we see all over the media, right? So there's just a balance, and a lot of us haven't had those role models. So I want to encourage and hopefully inspire some people to let go of this idea of toxic masculinity and replace it with just there's an imbalance. And even if there is an imbalance in that person, if you can tell they're genuinely happy, like some guys, are gay. Some guys are really flamboyant. Some guys have a lot of feminine energy and a little bit of masculine. But if they're living their life from a happy, love-based place, there's nothing wrong with them. Like, let them be, let them live. They're here doing their thing. If they're genuinely happy and love-based, they're doing all right. If there's a guy that's just real out there and aggressive, but if he's genuinely happy and love-based, I don't see the problem. Some of us have more fire, some of us have more water. Some guys have more male, some guys have more female. But the problem is when it goes into that fear base, it goes into that rude. They're rude, they're assholes. That's when it gets to be toxic, and that's when there should be there should be someone there to address what's going on and help them heal, help them find and pinpoint the thing that's causing their imbalance to happen, and talk through it and come to some resolution, come to some healing. And so, without making this video too long, man, I hope this serves you guys and this gives perspective about this idea of toxic masculinity. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. That's just a label that we're throwing onto men that's going to make men resent whoever's giving those labels to them anyway. It's more about understanding, about patience, about love, about healing. So as always, number love for you guys here on this channel. If you're looking to if you know a young man that can use some connection with another man who has some balance, right, some love, hit me up. I would love to work with whoever is willing and open to it, and provide some of that, maybe that fatherly, masculine, loving energy that never was provided. That's and just have those conversations that need to be had. I love to be I'm a light worker here on earth, and I love to reach out and serve whoever I can serve in that way. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, leave your comments and your thoughts down below, and we'll connect soon. Peace.